And I'm live. Hola, and welcome to day 2 of my live streaming challenge. So to recap, I'm doing 30 days in a row. I'm going to go live on social media, and I'm taking Dan Martell's advice to. I want to improve my verbal communication. I've always been a writer, and I've been far more effective writing than I have been speaking, and not necessarily on stage. I can deliver a speech, but I'm not as clear in my communication when I'm communicating verbally as I am when I have time to write and think things out. So the challenge is Dan Martell suggested get in front of the camera for 30 days in a row, go live, and just practice. That's how I'm going to get better at it. So I'm back for day 2, which candidly was actually harder than the day 1. So I got a lot of people that said, like, very, very supportive, very nice, and helping me. I'm throwing some kind words. The only downside of that was I realized, oh shit, like people are actually going to see this. So day 2 is a little bit slower to get to the camera, but here I am. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. And what I'll do for the 30 days, I'm going to talk about systems, our framework in my company, and sales, because that's what I know best, and most likely to be able to speak about. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about systems thinking and how the framework that I use when we're doing audits, like when we audit sales organizations, or we audit different parts of the growth system in companies. We use a specific framework, and I just want to talk about how that came about. So the framework that we use is, the acronym for it is JACT, and it stands for justifying the sale with a strong, unique selling proposition, and attracting the ideal, the right, the target audience, the right types of clients and customers that you want with marketing systems and processes, converting them with sales practices that you can actually be proud of, that you're not embarrassed by or don't gross you out, and keeping customers. And so that's with just designing the right customer journey, the right experience, and then the final two, the E and the D, are environment and direction. Environment is your organizational culture, and direction is your vision for the company, the strategy. Like, do you have a direction on where you're going? Is there a clear destination? So the framework that we have came about as a result of, my focus has been predominantly, I've been fractional CMO, I've been fractional CRO, I've been on different sides of the business, but predominantly my experience has been based around sales. And I've had the opportunity to get dropped into a lot of fun scenarios where I get to lead improvements in sales. But I've also been dropped into some scenarios where the mission is fix sales or grow sales. And when I've stepped into certain roles, I do the standard, right? Let's look at the team. Let's look at what's our scripting. Let's look at our processes. Let's our tech stack, and like, what tools are we using? Do we have good follow-up sequences? Are we so, like, all the stuff that you think about when you're thinking about looking at improving or driving more sales out of your organization. And what I have found is, sometimes the problem of sales isn't actually about sales. There's always some room to improve. There's always something that you can optimize to get some performance improvements. But oftentimes, when you want to increase sales, it's the result of something outside of the sales organization or sales specific organization. And so one example, I was working with an investor group that wanted to drive more sales. They wanted to double the size of the company. Well, the product sucked. It was a really shitty product. The sales team knew it. Most of the people in the business knew it. The lack of customers were reflective of it, and it was just a shitty product. Well, your sales are inevitably going to suck if your product sucks. You can lead some growth. There are certain things that you can do, but if your product sucks, long-term, reliable, repeatable sales is going to be a challenge. So the foundation of a good sales process and a good sales organization is, give me something good to sell. Give me a product or give me a service that actually helps my customer or my client experience the change that they want or experience the transformation that they want, whether it's a product or it's a service, it's a client-based service, whatever it is. That could be a strong proposition, and a unique sell position is what really helps a sales team out, because when you've taken the time to define what is it that's part, what is it that we can claim, that we can say that our competitors can't. And we're not talking about good customer service or our product is better. We're talking about like real clear differentiators that allow a sales team to stand out in a sales process or sales presentation. So a unique selling proposition, and that's where the justifying the sale with a strong unique selling proposition came in. And then there's another scenario that I got dropped into, and the sales team was really good sales team, really good product. The challenge was the sales team was basically being asked to do the entire job of marketing. And if you look at like a marketing funnel or the process that a prospect goes through before they actually buy, there are these different stages, and there's different ways of framing it. But one older, really like tried and true model is the AIDA model. Attract, awareness, awareness, interest, desire, action. Well, most of these functions, those are things that marketing can do way more efficiently than a sales team. So think about it in terms of if you're entering a new market, for example, and you want to create awareness. Nobody knows who you are just yet. Like you've got a great product, you've got a good, strong, unique selling proposition, but nobody knows who you are. Well, unleashing a sales team to go create that awareness is a really expensive and inefficient way to allocate your resources. Because a good marketing team is going to be able to create awareness and cast a wider net and do a better job of it than a sales team sitting there just pounding out the phone. And so I got dropped into a scenario, and for all intents and purposes, the team is effectively they're dialing, like they're just cold calling out of a yellow page. It's not literally, but it's just there wasn't even a list. There was no marketing strategy. There was no marketing awareness. There was no digital marketing. There was no, like I said, there was not even a list, a very targeted list. So nothing on the marketing side had been done. There wasn't a clear niche. So the target audience wasn't really refined. And putting a sales team into that scenario, like I said, is really inefficient, really expensive. So that's where attracting the target audience, the right clients and the right customers that you want with smart marketing comes into play. And then the convert piece is obviously that's within your sales organization. Those are, are you adhering to best practices? Are you using the right sales processes? Are you, do you need a discovery call? Are you cramming disco and discovery and demo call together? Making sure that the sales practices that your team is using are reflective of the brand that you want to be, and they are, and that they're being followed consistently across the sales team. So that's where converting the prospects that your marketing team has brought into your ecosystem comes into play. And that's what you typically on the conversion side, that part of the model is typically what you think of when you think of how to get more sales, and then keeping the K in this, the acronym, keeping people, it boils down to how you deliver your product or service. And that includes, that's everything from onboarding. If you're selling a software solution, that's engagement, that's adoption. So you have these other elements. And if you drop the ball, if everything up to that point, you have a strong selling, unique selling proposition, you have really good marketing systems to get them in the door, then you have really great sales processes to convert them. But then you do a lousy job after you get their money, it's going to affect sales long-term too. You're gonna miss out on referrals. You're gonna churn people. Your retention's going to go to shit. So how you deliver your product is probably one of the most important things that you can do in terms of long-term growth for your company. So if you're having challenges with driving more sales, you may look at, okay, we're spending all this money on the front end. to get people here, and then we're dropping the ball when they do. And you're obviously not going to have any raving fans as a result of it. So those are the four main elements when we look at sales. The environment is something also been part of some scenarios where to go in and make the improvements that we've wanted to make to drive more sales. The organizational culture was made it difficult. We'll say, like, if you have a shitty culture, it's going to be tough to get and keep really good people. It's going to be tough. And shitty culture doesn't necessarily mean all toxicity. Like, it doesn't mean toxic leadership. It can just be incredibly inefficient place to work. It can be the systems suck. It can be communication sucks. All of these things contribute to what make up the organization's culture, and that has a big impact on sales. Not the least of which, because half of sales is psychology, right? Like if you're a salesperson, your job is to convert people all day long. Being in the right mindset is a really important part of that job. And if the is a distraction from keeping you from being in the right mindset, or the most productive mindset that you need to be in to execute well, it's going to affect results. And then the last part of this, the D is for direction. And this is about vision. Like, this is about strategy. Is the company, is there a clear destination mapped out, that where we want to go with the company, and is there a strategy on how we're going to achieve it? If you're not, like, that's some of these arbitrary goals that I've heard being dropped into scenarios, and hey, we want to double the size of the company. Okay, is there an underlying purpose? Is there a mission? What is the vision here? And if that's not clear, a lack of clarity is really going to affect your sales results and your sales team and the entire organization as a whole. So that's the overview of our framework, and that's the same framework that we use with our sales audits. So we have a sales audit, but the sales audit really is it's a value prop audit. It's a marketing audit. It's a sales audit. It's a customer success and customer service audit. It is, we look at the organizational culture, we look at the vision and the strategy, because all of those things impact the direction and the effectiveness of the sales team and the sales organization. So we call it a sales audit because, frankly, most people just, if they're Googling, so like, we want more sales, we want the result, but that's the lagging indicator, and all these other components, how they're optimized and how they're optimized together, really have a big impact on that. So that's a quick overview of the framework and the way that we do some of our audits, and just my general sales philosophy. So I'll drop in tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit more about systems thinking and how that ties into this, and ties into to growing your sales organization, growing sales. And until then, I think that's it for me. Thanks for joining for day 2. I really do appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Bye.